Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader and the desperate gibbering remains of our navigator. We need to find our way up to the upper decks here. Do we see an obvious... this looks like it runs around to an underspace that I probably can't get to. Yeah. I was also making sure I'm looking around for, loot and stuff. There's a body over here. Might we interact with the body? Might I search this corpse? I can see this one, apparently. The Navigator's Sanctum is the private haven of the ship's guide through the warp, and a death trap for anyone left inside after the translation to the Immaterium. Yeah, warp travel. It's bad news, it turns out.
None shall stand in my way.
Okay, well, can we use the door at the end of the hall now? We cannot. How is it that I am supposed to get... Yeah, that's right. The door is all fleshed shut. How is it that I am supposed to get out of here? Can we go... Okay, we can go around the piece of trash that had fallen in the hall. I didn't realize. Defeated enemies have no further need for their former belongings, but you can discover valuable trophies among them. Trophies on the right side of the trophy window go to your inventory. Such items can be used or equipped by your characters. Trophies on the left are packed up and sent as cargo to your ship, which can later be used to trade with various factions. Okay. You can move trophies from one side to the other by dragging them across. Also, there are buttons for this. Click Collect All or press space to transfer trophies. Okay. So... we have here a thing that can only work on a Psyker. Sanctioned Psyker or unsanctioned Psyker or Psychic Awakening. I mean, this feels like it's all inventory stuff, right? It's just, yeah. Collect all. Yes, let us do that. It's interesting that that's a thing that happens automatically when you leave a location, so you don't have to, like, run around and loot individual bodies. That's a nice system. So we need to go to the officer's deck. I forgot for a moment that that wasn't a loading screen. It has such a grand affect to it. Then we got to actually look at these things. I guess that's like the one downside is that if you're picking up your loot as you're loading out of an area, you like weirdly have to get to the other side and then pause for a second to see what's getting equipped and whatnot.
Your ship's as good as ours. It's all over for you.
I shall pity not your enemies. I shall heed not their pleas.
Somebody shoot these
I shall betray not your tenets, nor stray one step from them. Take not your gaze from me. Leave me not without your grace.
I told you he would protect us.
My God, my light, my emperor.
Yeah, she mentioned there was a Sister of Battle on board. The white-haired warrior turns to face you, her dark eyes blazing. The weapon quivers in her hands, and for a brief moment, it seems she is not going to stop and will instead continue eliminating every target she sees, starting with you.
Sister Argenta! Sister Argenta, it is a relief to see you. We require all the forces we can muster.
The Seneschal's voice seems to bring the warrior out of her battle trance.
Your face, it is unfamiliar. Who are you?
The young woman called Argenta lowers her weapon and scans your small party with an intense gaze. Then she sets her sights on you. Yeah, I'm the Lord Captain. I'm just trying to make it clear that I'm important to the task and should not be shot in the crotch area. Because did you notice that she shot all those enemies? One of the guys she shot several times, but the first shot to hit everybody was directly to the groin.
The hour is dark and daunting. A ship abounds with corruption. The faces of friends are twisted by sneers of heresy. The eyes of comrades ignite with the arch-enemy's hunger. I will do what I must to halt the advance of the dark forces. But in these dire moments, little can be trusted. So I must know, why are you here?
The archenemy referring to the forces of chaos in a general sense.
Sister, I beg of you. Now is not the time for interrogations. The ship is under attack by heretics. We've been betrayed by our esteemed Master of Whispers. Edelstrad the Heir is waiting for our aid, and Lord Captain Theodora is expecting a report on our success. We are here to deal with the situation, so I suggest we all do just that.
Okay. Again, I have used the word imperious to express things about our character multiple times, but like, I would like to think that I am smarter than to threaten a sister of battle to her face. That seems like a bad way to get along in life. To not be shot in the groin. Yeah, listen, the Seneschal's right. There's no time for talk.
Very well. We may leave it at that. For now.
Argenta raises her chin proudly.
I cannot wait to rain righteous fire down upon each and every heretic.
Okay, apparently I know enough about the Imperium, even with my Lore Imperium penalty, to know basically what a Sister of Battle is. So what is a warrior of the Adeptus Sororitas doing aboard a rogue trader's ship? You know, actually, this is kind of a good question. Your orders serve the ecclesiarchy, do they not?
Sister Argenta is a guest of the Lord Captain. And that story deserves its own time and conversation. Under more appropriate circumstances.
I guess it is kind of weird that I was like, hey, there's no time for talk. And then I was like, but why don't you tell me your life story?
Enough idle chatter. I am where I must be, and that will suffice.
Okay, yeah. Sit rep, I guess? What's happening on the officer's deck?
Massacre, my lady. And heretics are not just killing the crew. Some kind of blight is sweeping through the decks, filling the air. I saw people going mad the moment they breathed it in, screaming about seeing their dead comrades, tearing out their eyes. I implore you, my lady, be on your guard.
Okay, so in addition to everything else, don't breathe. Well, we must get to the main hall of the deck.
Through this door. I shall join you, for it is my duty to the God Emperor to destroy this heresy.
Argenta nods at the passage to your right.
We will follow. For now, we will hold off any heretics who might try to crawl in through the cracks to join the main assault. And we'll take a look at the generators while we're at it. Those villains made a mess of the cables. Oh, I wish we had a Tectomat with us. But we'll see what we can do without one.
Good to hear it. Sister?
Ready. May Terra's light illuminate our path through fire and darkness.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? Alright, a character may need to use different kinds of weapons, which can be prepared in advance. Open your inventory and prepare different weapon sets, and then you can switch between them in combat with X. Swapping active weapon sets does not cost action points. This is a very, very old feature of the genre. So, we have here stub revolver and sword. Okay, so this is a two-handed gun. It doesn't look like it looks like a machine pistol. But all right, yeah. So 3 to 5 damage. It fires 4 times as opposed to the 2 shots out of the stub revolver. It seems crummy, but it does have a little bit longer range and it carries more ammunition. Yeah, it's not, the stub revolver is like a really solid weapon, actually. Okay. Well, the difference obviously is in the slightly more flexible range, and that does matter. Do my other party members want to have more stuff? You just have a one-handed sword. Can you dual wield? I wonder if there are any penalties to dual wielding in this game. So parry chance based on weapon skill. Plus parry bonus. So it doesn't look like equipping an extra weapon is affecting parry chance or anything. It probably just gives you it gives you the ability to use the different attacks of the different weapons. So it's like a gain of versatility. And you have a las pistol and of course your ridiculous staff. You know, I think that's fine. We can leave it like that. The door is closed, but the lock looks intact. It can probably be opened with the right tool. Oh, that's the Vox skull. It's just continuing to pray. Who has a tool? Somebody? Somebody got an appropriate tool for this task? There is a crate of goods over here. Trank injectors, maglev impellers, a salvaged omniprocessor. So yeah, a bunch of stuff that we have no personal use for. Loaded into cargo. I suppose it's already loaded into cargo. Right now, the only ship we know of is this ship, and yeah, that's kind of a weird way to express that. So actually, I don't see. Do you know how to get?
I woke
in
up with
here?
a feeling of wonder, as if a field of flowers was blossoming nearby.
Can probably be opened
A
with the
child
right
was
tool.
saved from death. 1,000 heretics were burning alive, begging,
Whoa.
Under the
and
keel for that.
sobbing, and howling.
I was clicking buttons. So outside of combat,
Act.
health restores automatically. I clicked her, and then I clicked one because I was like, no, sorry, select the first member of the party. But that just it performed the action in the one slot. And then I was like, oh no, I meant to select
Shall
her.
prevail.
And I had one. I was in fire this gun mode at that time.
Victory awaits.
It's fine. I was just, just making sure. So what is it can probably be opened with the right tool mean? Actually, we should probably compare this staff to the one you're currently holding. It is identical. This is the same staff. Okay. The lock looks intact. We don't have a key or anything, do we? Unless I'm mistaken. In theory, should we not have the authority to do like Abelard?
What advice do you seek?
Do you not just
Light
have the
of
ability to open this shit?
Guide our way.
It is wild to me that it appears that he does not have the authority to open this door. This door will not move an inch. It is blocked. So we have no more interactable locations, as far as I can tell. Although maybe I was holding the wrong button. Hey, look, a crate. Maybe I was holding the wrong button. Hard to say. Ooh, a well-maintained stub revolver, and then, yeah, some stuff that we don't have personal use for. We've received a new, more efficient weapon. The crew may need more powerful weapons. The door to the mess is stuck. There must be a way to open it. I'm working on it. Okay, so our stub revolver, this is 1 point up on the max damage, and yeah, all right. Like half a point average damage per bullet. The explosion blasted a hole through the door, large enough for a person to get through. Okay, can we
Marching on.
send someone through and nope, okay. Oh, it's clicking low on the door. They put the examine symbol high on the door to make you think that's how you click on the door to interact with it, but you can click low on the door to get a different kind of interaction. Terrible stuff. Okay, so I don't know that I necessarily think we can approach in a very productive way here, right? Like I'd be very afraid of anybody trying to move up to a table as cover, setting these guys off. So I think let's just
Run! Run, fools!
Yeah.
Or fall!
The monsters demand your death.
Okay. So you can park you up here. We know that we're gonna get 4 heretic turns before we get a single character turn. Let's put Argenta and Fidira also up close. I want at least one person next to me, right? Can I look at my character sheet at this time? Where do I see my these are just different pages for the gear. I was trying to see exactly what my my skill that we were given at the beginning of the game does. The Hive World one for refreshment, but I don't remember, and I don't seem to have a good way. Here we go. Features. Voice of command. No, that's not what I want. I want Hive World. Strength in numbers. 2 resolve if there are 3 or more creatures in a 3-cell radius. And no penalty as long as there's at least 1 creature within a 3-cell radius. Okay. 3 or more creatures. So, unfortunately, we don't... They could put us all in the same location. The sister just has a big gun, right? Like, she's not going to be... Yeah, she's not going to be closing to melee. She wants to be using her 2-handed weapon. So, yeah, maybe I do, in fact. I'm trying to get Argenta into this little alcove here. Because I think she's probably not moving.
Death to the weak.
Alright, Abelard is a much better fighter than most of these random nerds.
I serve the ruinous powers.
Argenta is the warrior of the Adepta Sororitas and a soldier. She's an expert with burst ranged weapons and weapons that deal damage in an area. Run and Gun allows her to do extra movement and reduces the cost of the next attack by 1 action point. The soldier will also suffer a penalty to their ballistic skill for this attack. Run and Gun allows the soldier to perform an additional attack with a ranged weapon, which is handy if you want to make more than, or required, in fact. Revel in Slaughter is an ability that can be used once for each 3 enemies the soldier kills in a single battle. Each activation increases ballistic skill, crit chance, and crit damage. Okay. Certain types of weapons let you make burst attacks. When performing a melee burst attack, the character makes several strikes against a single target. If the first hits, all subsequent strikes automatically hit. When performing a burst ranged attack, the character fires several successive shots with different trajectories. Most are concentrated in the center of the selected attack cone. Enemies there are more likely to be damaged. Be careful, burst shots can absolutely also hit allies. Yep. Yeah, I hear you. So, a little burst fire like across the hall here, I think makes a lot of sense. Yeah, there's no way to shoot at anybody else that doesn't include Abelard, and why would we anyway? So it seems like we're slightly more likely to get the job done here. So their next attack costs -1 AP and does not count toward the attack limit, but until the end of their next turn, they take the penalty. And she also has momentum equal to 6. Grants an additional 3 momentum for each enemy that is in a 5-cell around the sister or was hit by her this turn. Okay, so we'd like to do this after firing, actually.
I'll do it. Eradicate.
Wow. Good work.
Faith without deeds is worthless.
They haven't explained to us momentum yet, but you know, I'm sure if we set it off, we'll get an explainer. And then I think that's a pretty successful turn. I think you're good.
I've suffered worse.
Okay, so Adira's lightning arc chains to up to 4 targets. It doesn't say explicitly that the chaining doesn't hit friendlies. No, it looks like it actually definitely will if it can. So we need to be a little bit more cautious about that. If I were to use the Shriek instead, the Shriek does in fact just target one thing. Hits for 7 to 16, which would be guaranteed non-lethal on the 2 that are close to us. Guy over there's got 1 HP. You 2 are just far enough apart that a strike from the staff won't hit the other. Frustrating bit of competence there. Alright, if we throw some extra analyze on you, then... Well, the damage range of the scream was sufficient that it could have done the job. And let's give you a little bit of an evasion buff. Alright, full and partial covers give you the opportunity to avoid enemy attacks. Full cover reduces the chance to be hit by 60%, partial by 35%. Some cover can be destroyed. Destructible cover will have a durability bar above it. Single shot can penetrate through any cover. Okay. Which is a thing that everybody has the ability to just like take it slow and look for your moment, I guess. So I have my pistol burst, but if I wanted to swap over to this thing, I can't do enough damage to these enemies to kill them. So it feels to me like it might make more sense just to try to put one guy down. Open up Abelard's ability to move around a little bit. Not so good.
Suits my purposes.
And stat buffs for Abelard. So I can charge somebody potentially after I get my initial kill. Unfortunately, all of these attacks only work on people who are actually adjacent, so we may as well just take the normal strike.
I will do my duty. One fewer target.
And then charge requires at least 2 free cells. So I actually can't charge. But I can brace us all for impact. And then I guess pass the turn.
Death to non-believers!
So if Argenta wants to run... There's not really a good cone, I think, for hitting all 3 of these. But if Argenta wants to shed cover here, perhaps even making herself a possible target. I still have plenty of AP. Like, I don't need the AP bonus from Run and Gun, but I do wonder if I want to take 2 slightly crummier shots in this situation. You know what? Let's do it. Let's do it to play with the mechanics. Alright, so we will Run and Gun to here.
I will bathe this battlefield in righteous fury.
Try to close up the cone just a little bit. Okay, it looks like there's no way for me to include all 3 of them in the cone anyway. It's way too narrow.
That is for the...
Wow. Okay.
As the Emperor commands, none can escape the Emperor's judgment.
We got there eventually. It feels like we might have gotten that with just a normal burst without the accuracy penalty. Oh, and this is extremely bad news for... Oh, no, for a second there, I thought that was Lady What's-Her-Face. I was going to say, it's real bad news for our enemies. It's not really bad news for us. We still have a good defensive position against these guys.
Out of my way!
Although, obviously, putting the sister in the open now feels a little bit less good.
Chaos guides me.
She's tough. She's not a space marine, but she's tough. They are standing close enough together that we could get some arcing going, potentially. What is the range on that? 10 cells. Okay, so I can just barely hit this guy with it right now. What if I mark him for exploits? And then...
What an unfortunate turn of fate.
An otherworldly screech pierces your ears. It seems to have done slightly worse to him, so I'm okay with it. Keep forewarning up on Abelard, because he's going to need it. I suppose I did make my own job a little bit harder here. We're pushing on the momentum. Because if I hadn't killed this guy, then Samhain might have a reasonable burst. If I step up into the junction here, my weapon's range doesn't reach that far. If I swap to the other weapon, I was wondering if I can put take a swing through this guy at some of those guys back there. And it looks like I am going to have to move over for it. From here, yeah, I can take the shot. It's not very good, but yeah. All right. Let's give it a go.
Nothing of value has been lost.
Okay. It's not the one I thought I was going to kill, but I'll take a kill. I'm not picky. A character who has become the target of voice of commands cannot be targeted by it again for the next 2 rounds. So I guess we'll hit Argenta with it. To help make up for the run and gun penalty. It actually is slightly overdoes the run and gun penalty. It is a shame that I will not be able to take any normal movements after swatting this guy, and also that I'm probably not going to kill him anyway.
Indeed. I took care of this one.
Never mind. Maybe we'll just get a critical hit and it'll be awesome.
That's not the Seneschal's job.
Yeah, and then we have no way to path to anybody else. Okay. Listen, you did all we could ask of you, which is cut a dude in half. Running gun. Oh, right. It has the winded thing. So, yeah, I think I'm just going to close to here and get the flank.
Rejoice in battle.
Oh, my weapon has no bullets. Fortunately, we have just enough AP to reload and fire.
Faith without deed fabricated.
Okay.
Death to the weak.
Our momentum bar is definitely all the way full. But I guess we're just not being taught that mechanic yet, so we don't have access to it. Alright, the time has come to approach. Oh, it's interesting you can't get cover behind, like, cover behind this thing. I'm sure it's still blocking line of sight, but that's weird. Alright, so from there, yeah, that looks
I know what is to come.
reasonable. A little bit of force lightning.
Not my destiny. Will do.
Be gone.
Clicking on the wrong target. And then... I mean, there's no reason. That ability doesn't really do anything. Who is getting the dodge and parry bonus? Maybe Adira? Adira is kind of standing the most in the open for the moment. Alright, and then I gotta move up so that I don't lose my party. Please, feel free to take your time.
Nothing I can't do.
Damn it. Nothing I can't do.
I'll pass.
Oh, the next 2 rounds? Yeah.
Suits my purposes.
Here. A boost for you. So, I can cut this guy down. If I use charge, it does eat all my movement points. So there's no sense in doing that. I guess... I mean, I don't love just run into the open. But I guess there's not very many enemies left. Or actually, this might be the last guy, isn't it?
At the fall.
Yeah, it totally is the last guy. We've cleaned up so effectively, I didn't even notice.
Victory is reduced to dust.
All right. Great work, everybody. An exact replica of the Von Valancius void ship sits on this pedestal. Labels indicate the main compartments and the decks of the vessel. There was something over here. Titles and authors are printed in gold on the spines of the books. The library contains works on the Imperium technology, law codices, biographical sketches, and chronicles of the greatest military conflicts of the Coronis Expanse and the Calixis sector. Alright, it looks like I can run over and loot them individually as well. But I am not required to do
They say
so.
a little bit of humility never hurt anyone. I help others better themselves by wholeheartedly humiliating them at every step.
Okay, that voice line's maybe a little bit long for a thing that she sometimes just says while walking. The cozy seating area is completely destroyed. Pieces of furniture and splinters are scattered everywhere, and dark stains cover the floor and upholstery. You know, it's not the most pressing concern, I think, but it is really going to suck to have to clean this up. Synth leather, yeah, just a bunch of stuff that officially belongs to the rogue trader that I am helping myself to. Hopefully she'll understand. She'll be like, yes, I too love to rogue trade, by which I mean steal everything that isn't nailed down. An electrified shard net. Well, whatever, somebody will buy it. Is that the door? So there's a door up there. Over here is just some more holy stuff. Apparently this corpse also has some goods. To open the door, click on the icon above the cogitator. The character with the highest logic will make the skill test. If this test fails, the door will remain closed. A particularly bad result can cause the door to become permanently stuck and impossible to open.
We need to investigate.
Listen, I'm investigating all of the things that I care about very much. This guy had a machine right set, sacred oils and cogitograms that can appease the keeper of any technology, provides an additional opportunity to call out a machine spirit and interact with the device. Interesting. And also, a universal lockpicking tool. Absolutely something we should have on us. Also, some goods that lit up as we approached them and weren't lit up on our tab indicator before, so I'm assuming that my perception maybe revealed those. Okay. Turns out I am all prepared to handle this. Your character is about to make a logic skill test. In dialogue and during exploration, you'll often make various skill tests, and the result might determine how successful your character's efforts are, make hidden dialogue options appear, or reveal new information. There's a 100-sided die. To succeed, you must roll a value equal to or less than the sum of both the stated difficulty and the value of the skill used for the test. Right, so higher skills is better. Yeah, makes sense. The higher your skill is, the easier it is for you to succeed on tests. Skill scores depend on characters. Yeah, we know how all this character sheet stuff works.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
Okay, more void goods here. Servo skull, anti-gravitic impellers. Nobody wants a bunch of servo skulls that have to roll themselves around the ground. Bonus to tech use, which it seems like we're going to have a use for immediately. Also some melta charges for eliminating flimsy obstacles. For if you really can't get the door up north open, I guess. Also, it looks like there's a door over here. Let's, So this is the melta charge. What is this? Just a raw tech use? Hold on. Let me see what this console says. The cogitator is silent. It seems that its machine spirit is no longer being powered by the motive force. So when we do this...
I did fine.
Okay.
Follow my lead.
It's not clear to me what the little angry face next to it. I'm assuming that refers to the machine spirit. But it's not clear to me exactly what it means mechanically. Alright, power's back on. That seems probably pretty important. And then we could blow up the door. We don't have to blow up the door, right? I guess we do.
Done.
There was a tech use check available before we got into the side room, but I wonder if the point of that was just to reveal that the door is well and truly stuck shut.
It's about time.
Oh. Team's running over here real fast. Remember to advance the level of your character and their companions. Oh, right, yeah. Leveling up is important, and you should remember to do it. So, at level 2, we get Bring It Down. The officer immediately grants an ally an extra turn with 2 AP and no MP. If this ally is under voice of command and kills an enemy before the end of the officer's turn, they gain a one-time additional 8 momentum. Cannot be used on the same ally more than once per round. Okay, it doesn't say, like, what the cost of this is, but that seems very good. You get a rank. Until the warrior's next turn, they gain +2 deflection and +10 temporary wounds. Very impressive. You get Expose Weakness. The operative removes all exploits from the target, decreasing their dodge, parry, and armor by 15 plus exploits removed percentage until the start of the operative's next turn. If this ability reduces the target's armor to 0, the operative removes only half of the exploits from the target. Oh, that's cool. So a lot of benefit in having some knowledge of the enemy and making sure you are overawing them. And you have gotten an improvement to Revel in Slaughter. The soldier immediately removes the winded effect. Until the end of combat, the soldier gains the following bonuses: +10 ballistic skill, 15% critical damage, 5% critical hit chance. This ability becomes available after the soldier kills 3 enemies. Kill counter is not reset between rounds, so you wanna use this when you have, like, if you get 3 kills without spending run and gun, then you could press run and gun, immediately Revel in Slaughter to remove the effect, and get both of your run and gun attacks without the ballistic skill penalty, and also, with a bonus. Seems very powerful. Okay. And when we reach level 16, it seems we get to take some access to some additional archetypes that descend from our initial archetype. Is everybody... Can y'all maybe... I would just like to be selecting everyone. Can we please catch up? What if we were all present for the combat that is about to occur? Although I'm hearing combat, I'm actually not seeing combat. The benches and even the cogitator, torn from its proper place, are stacked in a rough semblance of a barricade. And also, we did purple highlight another multi-key here. That's cool.
Any challenge for me?
I wonder if the color of the highlight tells you specifically, like, why the highlight became available. You know, because it seems like we've seen purple and yellow. We get this door open. Raw tech use.
Excellence matters.
Okay. There's a corpse in here with a deck officer's helmet, which grants +5 armor.
Victory awaits.
Abelard, what are you wearing? Okay, you have no helmet on. It probably makes sense for you to have a helmet on. In general, kids, don't engage in melee combat without a helmet. Or any kind of combat, really. Alright, we'll have to look for another way around. I mean, we see another way around. I'm just being careful. We do notice a heretic cutthroat down there somewhere, so I'm expecting to get jumped, for sure. Okay, that seems very bad. The roar of the flames rings in your ears, and the choking smoke makes you cough and gasp for air. You instinctively recoil from the scorching heat, wiping your face. A moment later, a hazy silhouette forms in the raging wall of fire. You are surrounded by ear-splitting noise and screaming, yet you distinctly hear the sound of footsteps. And then you see the figure walk out of the fire toward you. It is Theodora von Valancius.
Are you lost, my heir?
Uh-oh. Her expression is calm, terrifyingly so for someone whose body is engulfed in an inferno. One of her hands is resting on the hilt of her power sword, the other raised in an inviting gesture.
An apparition. A sorceress. Apparition. Trickery of the warp.
Or it could absolutely be her and just, inhabited by some kind of demon or something.
Sister, you will lower your weapon. Threatening the Lord Captain is outrageous.
Despite his commanding tone, Abelard does not sound too confident. He is staring at the rogue trader, and you notice a muscle in his cheek twitching. Aren't you in pain?
Pain is but a reflection of one's weakness. To renounce weakness of spirit in pursuit of greatness is the only path to heights worthy of a rogue trader.
Huh.
I can lead you out of these flames, show you a path, rid you of pain, and give you a weapon so that you may defeat your enemies. Decide.
I definitely did not realize that it was possible to just renounce the ability to be killed by fire.
Do not listen to this abomination. If there is naught but his light in your heart, if you are resolute in your faith, then step into the flames. The Emperor protects. His faithful will not be deterred by either darkness or deceitful promises. Nor will the fire burn those who carry the torch of faith in their soul.
Okay, so that's 2 votes for me jumping in the fire.
To the void with you. We need to follow Lady Theodora before we suffocate in this furnace.
The people! The survivors from the middle decks! We must help the crew! Lead them out! Find a way around!
Abelard looks back at the coughing and confused people around you. Over the roaring flames you hear distant sounds, frightened voices, screams, muffled and distorted, as if there were a body of water between you and them.
Then we'll miss our chance to meet up with Edel. What are we waiting for?
Alright, sometimes your character will have to make tough decisions based on their values, interests, and goals. Such decisions affect their convictions. This can help develop in 3 directions: dogmatic, iconoclast, and heretical. Each includes 5 ranks. The higher the rank, the more zealously the character follows this conviction, and the more noticeably the world around them reacts to their actions and decisions. Promotion through the ranks of each of the 3 directions opens up access to new dialogue lines, events, abilities, and also changes the attitude of others toward your character. Also, some items can only be equipped by characters with certain convictions. When one conviction reaches rank 3, Votary, it becomes the character's main focus. When that happens, the other 2 conviction branches cannot be raised above rank 2. Your character's allies have convictions of their own as well. Okay. So, I do think that our character, I think that we are a person who is focused on people, right? As a commander, as someone who has been raised with a particular view of those below her, and who, because of the events of her life, is now fighting back against that programming, sort of slowly working on regarding everyone not necessarily as equals, but at least as people in a much more meaningful way. It feels to me like Iconoclast is the aspirational choice for this character, but I wonder if here in this moment, maybe the offer of help is too powerful to turn our back on. I don't think dogmatic is a choice at all. This doesn't make sense for the character even a little bit. I have no respect for the Emperor or trust in the structures underlying, but I think heretical and iconoclast are both really interesting choices. I think our character wants to be the one, but for the moment is maybe a little bit unable to hold to that in a moment of panic. Take my pain away and give me power. I'll use it to help people, you know? You offer Theodora your hand, and the air around you seems to tighten, becoming thick and viscous, enveloping you and your companions in an impenetrable veil. Theodora smiles at you. Her radiant, piercing blue eyes suddenly remind you of Voigtver's. Heretical plus 15. That's how much heresy I just did. 15.
I will show you the way. Go on. Close your eyes.
The other 2 factors in this obviously are also, to the degree that Theodora is still Theodora, I think this is the thing she commanded us to do, and I am still trying to be, a worthy heir. I am still trying to make myself seem attractive as a person to whom all this power will be given. And the other thing is, of course, this is the thing that's going to piss off the Emperor the most. Now, should I be gleefully engaging in heresy with a Sister of Battle at my back? There's some dangers there, I'm sure. We'll see how it goes. Veil degradation scales from 0 to 20 and does not transfer between battles. It is the same value for all Psychers in a battle. I guess the Psychers have to be careful not to destroy reality around them too much in any one engagement. Okay, well, we're here. We're somewhere.
What? What is this place?
Numerous valuables and
No,
trophies.
Avalon. Maybe some kind of secret passage. And what are those crates?
Don't worry, we're going to get into them soon. Numerous valuables and trophies are carelessly dumped into a single pile. It seems whoever put them here did not give these any serious thought. The painting that was once here has just been torn to shreds. Heretic trophies. Look at this. Preserved demonette claws, shards of crystallized darkness, Eldari runes. Neat. That's neat stuff. Also, a corrupted inferno pistol. 10 to 16 damage. It only has 3 max ammo and it's quite short ranged, but it has the ability to inferno blast. This pistol increases the wielder's coercion by 10 and does not require pistol weapon proficiency to be wielded. That's very interesting. It is a really, really short-ranged weapon. But I guess it's like a reasonable companion to our sword then. And we have the autogun for longer range.
We must act.
Okay, you can found an item that can only be equipped by characters of a certain conviction rank. You can see which conviction your character follows. Note that both your character and your companions have their own convictions. Got it. Does this say on it? Where does this say that it's only available to a certain conviction? Am I missing that? Melta, ranged weapon, light. Huh. Well, in any case, I am going to equip it. We can maybe give somebody else the stub revolver because it is quite a good weapon. Yeah, you currently don't have. You know, maybe we put your axe down. Give you some kind of ranged option. And you should probably have some kind of melee weapon in your secondary slot here. So 6 to 9 damage plus 10 parry, lowers enemy weapon skill on hit, or a thing that can bleed people. And just generally better damage. I think I'm going to take this sword. We would only be switching to the sword because of its defensive properties, right? So I do want to make sure that we have our character run over here to make sure we're taking advantage of our superior perception and everything. All right. Where have we been placed?
I'll lay claim to the stars.
A secret room behind her bedchamber. Interesting. Or I guess behind a bedchamber. It might not be hers, honestly, because it's not nearly grand enough. I mean, it's pretty grand. It could be hers. Yeah, and she's got this bathroom that's absolutely incredible. You know how long it's been since I lived in a place where I could actually sit all the way down in the bathtub? Ugh. Cheap housing, you know? Ah, maybe that was not Theodora at all, in fact. I keep trying to move the mouse so that it's not on screen during the during the cutscenes, and then immediately we pay the price. Here we have a bizarre fragment hung on a trophy board. The light, smooth surface of the object is dotted with dark spots and crumbling holes. Yeah, what is... Just a shard of congealed darkness or something?
Follow my lead.
All right, I do want to check out the goods and everything. And oh, hey, look at that organ. But the murder scene looks like something caught the victims by surprise. Theodora von Valancius's body is sprawled on the large, blood-drenched desk. The arch-militant's corpse, still clutching a weapon, is slumped against one of the bulkheads.
Emperor, accept thy faithful souls.
No! Lord Captain, I didn't hear a thing. not a breath. It was so loud. Why didn't I foresee this?
Adira's heart-rending scream shakes the walls. She is terrifyingly powerful. They're doing a really good job of expressing how dangerous a Psyker is. Because, like, I was very flippant before when I saw that Psyker was one of our character options, and I was like, this is a wizard. I do really appreciate the length that they're going to express how dangerous even a, like, not particularly intense Psyker is to everyone around them kind of all of the time, including themselves.
Lord Captain, who would even dare? Unless that rat, Voidsphere.
Abelard, stunned, takes a few steps forward and leans heavily on the edge of the desk. His eyes are locked on Theodora's body. Yeah, I don't really think so. Voidsphere wished humiliation and suffering on Theodora, not a swift death.
It could have happened in the heat of battle. Not to mention that Mort was here, and he would have protected Lady Theodora to the last. How could Mort have failed her so terribly? The Arch-Militant was born on a death world. He had lightning-fast reflexes.
I can look at things in my own way. If you find something that might bear the imprint of the killer, just give it to me, and I'll try to see what secrets it holds.
Okay, we are on the clock here for sure. We still have not solved the translation problem, but this maybe bears a moment's examination. Let's check the Arch-Militant's body. An auto-pistol shot went straight through Mort's forehead, spraying the floor and the furniture around with blood, brain matter, and shards of his skull. The safety on the Arch-Militant's weapon is off. The killer must have been a split second quicker than he. You lean closer to Theodora's body. The cause of death is apparent. What ended the rogue trader's life was an auto-pistol shot, an extraordinarily accurate one at that. Theodora's face bears an expression of surprise, the last emotion she experienced in life. Something on the floor catches your eye, a heap of blood-spattered parchments and scrolls that must have fallen off the desk. As you lean down for a closer look, you notice something else. Small shards of glass scattered on the floor. Adira, you know what, let me look at the shards first before I say anything. It is difficult to say what exactly was broken. The object fell on the floor, and that is as much as you can ascertain. Upon closer examination, the shards appear iridescent rather than completely transparent, as if they had been submerged in promethium. Promethium is just the fuel, the stuff that goes in the flamethrowers and I guess probably also the rocket engines. I'm not 100% sure. What about these papers? Reports, accounts, dispatches. You go over the scrolls until you stumble upon a document that is starkly different from the rest. It is a handwritten letter with the initials XC and a seal with a symbol that is vaguely familiar to you. Esteemed Theodora, a change in circumstance has demanded your immediate assistance in our mutual cause. Forthwith, upon receiving this letter and performing the necessary preparations of the crew, you are to depart for the Rykad system. One of my acolytes, Interrogator Heinrichs von Kellox, operates there at the present time. Upon your arrival in the system, you will, without delay, make contact with him and offer any assistance required of you, after which you will provide him passage to the Furibundus system, aboard your ship. On footfall, the interrogator will remove himself from your presence to await further instructions. Anticipating any questions you may have, I will stress that the nature of Interrogator Van Kalox's activities on Rykad Minoris is of no concern to you. If required, Van Kalox himself will disclose details of his mission. May the Emperor's light be with you. XC. And sends a shiver down your spine. The author of this letter, addressed to Theodora von Valancius, signed it with the seal of one of the holy ordos of the Emperor's Inquisition, the secret police of the Imperium that relentlessly hunts heretics, Xenos, and other enemies of humanity. Idira, what do these shards tell you?
I see streaks of color, luminescence, blue lights, faces drawing closer. Lady Theodora and Conrad and what is that? Ah! Something dark, enormous. Oh, this glass thing was something foul, that's for sure. Tainted witchcraft.
You cannot tell if Argenta's remark is directed at the glass shards or Idira herself. Alright, well, Idira, would you try touching Theodora? You might be able to see the killer through her eyes.
It doesn't work like that. I can try to read the memories of objects, but dead bodies are a different story. Something like that would require her soul. And after what we saw on the officer's deck, I won't risk searching for it in the warp.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Then we'd best be on our way.
Yes, the crucible of battle calls to me once more.
Argenta's like, it's been 15 seconds since I last shot
No,
something.
wait! We must see if we can find anything.
Idira, you can't bring her back. Let her go.
You'd give up so easily, old man? I expected as much from the sister. It's not like she has a heart. But you? Oh no. I'll get to the bottom of this. I'll find the one responsible for murdering the Lord Captain. And when I do, that scum will regret the day they were born.
Interesting. Alright, well, I mean, since we're over here. +5 fellowship for each enemy within a 2-cell radius. That's interesting. Theodora's Rosary. The wearer of this amulet gains a +10 bonus to commerce and lore Imperium. Probably a pretty good thing for me to have on. And okay, there's an explicit cloak slot. A cloak seems almost like overkill given the long coat, but alright, that's fine. Also, +3 bonus to tech use. Yeah. With that, I suppose we ought to get moving. The parlor organ seems to have been sitting idle for many years. Okay, Mort has his Helmet of the Devoted Protector. This helmet grants its wearer immunity to enemy critical hits for the first 3 rounds of combat. Hey, that seems pretty good.
Sometimes
my
you
dude.
consult the appropriate treatise on Tactica Imperialis and weigh every step.
You
Sometimes,
are...
though, you just fire your biggest cannon and save the day.
You are dogmatic. This feels like a good fit for you. And then this could probably go on like the sister, who is more likely to be close to combat than any of the rest of us. Alright, you know what? I am very eager to get to the end of this to figure out what's going on, but unfortunately I probably can't afford to let this one stretch on to 90 minutes. So I do think that is going to have to be where we end it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. I am really into this. This formally has me very hooked. I am eagerly looking forward to the next recording session, and I hope y'all are as well. Come back next time for that, and we'll see you then.